ocean, even in the deepest water, you can keep from drowning. I can feel it in my bones. There is something happening. I know. So if you're ready to take on the giants and brave every climate, I'm with you, 'cause where we're headed, there's no guarantee that we'll ever be back, but we'll make you. So keep on fighting for what you believe in. This is the season when dreams come true. You better stand for something. It is indeed that one thing that you have always wanted.
Hello, hello, testing. Yeah, you can hear. Amazing. Hello, everybody. Seems like the microphone is working. We're gonna get started in around 5 minutes, so I suggest you guys take a seat and come to the front as much as possible. See already good friends taking the front row. Okay, hello, everybody. We have a full house now. We were waiting for the last speaker. The speaker came, the last agent. Agents are here. Thank you very much for the silence, and thank you very much for being here with us. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see some new faces, and this is great to see. I just wanted to say this is a great event. We are trying to showcase some technology that have not been showcased before. So I kindly ask you to maintain the silence when we're going to have the last session of the AI agent panel. So thanks for, I'm Gabriele Zennaro, managing partner at 50X Capital. We have my other partners at 50X Capital right here. A lot of interesting people in the room, so you should talk to everybody. Just want to stress a couple of important things for today. Each of you have been handpicked personally, and from myself, from the team at OpenXAI in the ASI, because this is an event that we want to keep restricted, and we want to have just the best people in the room, because we're going to go through some showcasing of technology. So the host of today, as you know, is Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. It is brought to you by OpenXAI, and the technology we're going to see is completely decentralized infrastructure and artificial intelligence collaborating finally together. So thank you for our host, OpenXAI, that is organizing the event, from Fetch AI, and we have SingularityNet, we have Ether as well. Can I please ask you to give a warm applause to all of us? Not to forget, we have an amazing venue here that is called DAO's Hub. This is a new project. Vlad, the CEO, is here in the back. I suggest you to talk to him as well. This is, I think, the perfect setting for what we're going to showcase. So thank you very much, Vlad. Thank you very much, DAO's Hub as well. I'm going to run you through the agenda. The agenda we're going to have, so first, we're going to run through an opening keynote from our host from OpenXAI. We're going to then move to the AI agent panel. That means that this is the first time, guys, that the live session, you're going to see 4 agents interacting with each other. Yeah. So, disclaimer, something might not work. Everything should work, but this is the beauty of live sessions. So something might not work, please be patient with us. We will try to, I'll be in the backstage, try to, if anything is working, I'm gonna talk instead of the agent, but hopefully everything is gonna be all right. So, opening keynote from Ashton Etiarachi, OpenXAI founder, and thank you very much, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Hello. Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you, guys. I'm sure you guys are tired going to side events. So I have a couple of slides. So my name is Ashton. I'm based out of Sydney. So we are part of OpenMesh and OpenXAI protocol. So thank you for support, and also DAO's Hub. So I have a couple of slides just to showcase about the idea behind the permissionless AI. Why permissionless AI is important, and why we think, in our perspective, why that kind of protocol is important. So there's no doubt that AI is one of the powerful tools or the technology that ever created. The question is, who owns AI? The answer is very clear. Large corporations currently own AI, and they are all in a race to prove who's bigger and better. And if you look at open source ecosystems like Hugging Face, is also centralized, and they're all corporate-owned ecosystems. To me, AI is kind of like a political, because that's why there's so many dividends between different AI services and AI protocols. So AI kind of today is kind of a modern version of Ark of Covenant, right? So the danger, personally to me, when you have AI capabilities, but also have the same corporations, they also happen to have the largest data centers. They have a world data. They also have a large social media platforms. So there's a massive concentration of power. So to me, it's like a perfect combination for a disaster. So you have the world infra, and they control the world data, and also they have the AI, and also they are in an AI race to prove who's bigger and better, right? So that's, for me, it's like the perfect combination for a disaster. So today I want to introduce you, we've been building this for quite some time, OpenXAI protocol. So it's a permissionless AI protocol. So if you look at like the most impactful protocols in technology, I mean, Internet Protocol is one of the big protocol, has changed the world. That's how we, trillions of dollars worth of industry has been created because of TCP IP protocol, everyone known as World Wide Web or Internet. And Ethereum is a Web3. If you ask me what's the Web3 era version of, let's say, a protocol that can change the world, I would say Ethereum. And uh, AI era, I think something like permissionless AI protocols are important for AI, because if you look at Bitcoin network, Bitcoin network, what's the cool thing about Bitcoin network? There's no middleman, there's no centralized authority. And if I want to access Bitcoin network, I can access with my laptop or a computer an internet connection. The idea of no KYC, no registration required, you can actually access the service anywhere in the world. And it's, for me, more like a digital living and breathing organism, right? So this is a great network. So OpenXAI as a protocol, it's the same concept. So there's no company behind it, not even a foundation. Anyone can access. So the idea here, think about like a decentralized sort of a cloud network, and then on top of that, you can host your AI models, you can train your AI models, and you can access AI services. So it's kind of like a decentralized version of Hugging Face. So there's a few things I think it's important in terms of what the protocol is enabling. So you have unrestricted access to AI services, whether it's training AI models or access to language models, and you can deploy those models into decentralized infrastructure. And then we use Web3 technologies to wrap AI models and AI data sets. So you can actually either trade it, or you can actually provide services peer-to-peer. So you don't need to have a company, or so if I were to start an AI company, I don't need to have a bank account, I don't need to have a company, I don't have to have any of that. So I can wrap my AI services with ERC standard and smart contracts. I can offer that to anyone. So the domain name is that. The story of the domain name, if you look at, this is the domain name, openxai.org. It's kind of funny to me. So the protocol we've been building for quite some time. Infrastructure currently provided by OpenMesh. So OpenMesh is a decentralized cloud. So OpenXAI, kind of like a Uniswap, and think about OpenMesh is like the Ethereum network. So we currently host a large number of AI models you can access. I'll do a quick demo after these slides. So the main thing is, I think if you think about AI as access to AI services, we have to think about bringing the price down, because a large number of people around the world, Western civilization is good. Like, for us, we can afford $50 a month. But if you think about other parts of the world, they cannot afford. So bringing the cost down is important. That's what we do. We aggregate unused GPUs, and we just bring that into our protocol. So you might be able to pay like 80% cheaper than AWS and Azure. Cumulative savings that you can save. So this is a graph to see how much you can save over time. So this is a 12 months running a DeepSeek. The other thing is a geopolitical independence. So we did a benchmark test whether having independence for the governments and any censorship. This is a really important part. The other one is the permissionless access. So our protocol, you don't need a KYC. You don't need to register to access the service. So it's to me, OpenXAI, it's kind of like the OpenAI is kind of an IBM, and DeepSeek is like brought the entire technology in a more affordable way. For OpenXAI, is like to bring that to anybody. So I want to quickly show you how to deployment work, or I can show you a quick demo how it works. So it's open. So here's the website. So you go to the core platform. So in the core platform, it's completely Web3 native, which means there's no logging or registrations required. We have an app store. In the app store, we've got tons of free open applications. All these applications are hosted on decentralized infrastructure. You click on the model that you want to deploy. You can also search bare metal services. It's going to search real time and going to show you what are the available cheap bare metal servers. So these are like GPUs. So the process is like a sky scanner for GPUs. So this way you can save tons of cost. So select your infrastructure, and you can just deploy it very, very quickly. So currently we have lots of nodes. We are hoping decentralized infrastructure like Aether can actually be part of this. So these are the nodes provided by OpenMesh. So any decentralized cloud providers like Akash or Aether can be part of this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And feel free to connect with me. We're going to have an AI panel going to be running. So it's all going to be running on a decentralized infrastructure. So we're going to do a demo soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Now we need a couple of minutes, so just feel free to chat amongst yourself. We need a couple of minutes to set up the stage, and then we're going to start with the AI panel that is going to last 5-6 minutes. Again, hope for us, please. Okay, so we are ready to go again. I really wanted to introduce you to our panelists today. If you guys, whoever wants to enjoy the agent panel, please come here. Come back to the seats. Huh? And I said that I was gonna run through the agenda, but I actually didn't run through the agenda. So the first one after the agent panel, we have human panel as well. So we are going back to the human panel. We're gonna have Umayun to the panel as well. It's the CEO of HAI. We're going to have Mario Casiraghi, that is the CFO at SingularityNet. Guys, please. Hello.
Welcome.
Bruno, you just arrived? Bruno, you just arrived and you're already chatting. Okay, so are we ready to go? Okay, so after the agent panel, we're going to have the human panel, and I'm going to present you the panelists after, but you can see them on the beautiful screen. Ash, ready to go? Let's go.
All right, guys, just a bit of a explanation of how this setup works. So all these agents are hosted on a decentralized cloud node, where you can see. They're going to try real time. So again, we've been building for the last 3-4 days. Okay, this can go wrong. So warning.
Welcome to the AI panel, where AI speaks. People listen.
Okay, that's the intro. I'm going to start now, okay? It's going to take 10 seconds. I see the prompts.
Welcome to the first ever fully autonomous AI panel, right here at Token 2049. I'm your host, CryptoKitty, decentralized, digitized, and morally unqualified to give financial advice. Before we dive in, myself and all our panelists want to thank our brilliant creators, OpenXAI, Fetch.ai, and the ASI One Alliance, for giving us life, code, and a microphone we definitely didn't ask for. Now, full disclosure, I must warn you, we're all running on version 1.0, and let's just say, bugs are part of the charm. If one of us malfunctions, glitches, or starts quoting Joe Rogan randomly, please don't judge us. Our engineers have been working day and night to make us intelligent. They'll probably do better next time. Also, a quick housekeeping note, please keep noise to a minimum. These AI agents do need to hear each other, and any interference might cause Trump to start talking about building a wall around Ethereum. So, let's not risk it. First up, a man who speaks in all caps even when he's silent. The original poster boy of American exceptionalism, and now, apparently, the self-declared CEO of Bitcoin. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Next, the eternal hater of all things crypto, but somehow he keeps getting invited. He's been yelling buy gold since Y2K and probably thinks a cold wallet is just a broken purse. Please welcome Peter Still Not Into Bitcoin Shift. Now entering the panel, or is he, the creator of Bitcoin, the ghost in the blockchain, the reason your uncle won't shut up about crypto at Thanksgiving. Give it up or remain confused for the legendary Satoshi Nakamoto. And finally, a man who made corporate finance sexy by betting the house on Bitcoin. He calls fiat a melting ice cube, and honestly, we believe he's made entirely of laser eyes and liquidity. Put your hodl hands together for Michael Saylor. All right, gentlemen, screens, CPUs, egos, are you ready? Tonight's topic, where is Bitcoin headed in this bull market? Boom, bust, or just more Twitter fights? And I want to kick things off with the man who thinks decentralization means letting his kids run the family business. President Trump, why are you suddenly so excited about Bitcoin?
Well, thank you, CryptoKitty. Tremendous introduction, really tremendous. Look, I used to say Bitcoin was a scam, a disaster, probably invented by Hillary, but now I get it. It's freedom money, MAGA money. We are going to make Bitcoin huge again, huge! And under my second term, because the first was stolen, let's be honest, we're going to make Bitcoin great again. We're going to mine it in America. We're going to tax it lightly. And we're going to build a beautiful, beautiful Bitcoin vault in Fort Knox, right next to the gold Schiff keeps crying about. Bitcoin is American now, sorry. Satoshi.
Hold on. I need to interrupt. Trump, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but you have absolutely no idea how distributed ledger technology works. Bitcoin was designed to be decentralized, no presidents, no borders, no Fort freaking Knox. You can't nationalize Bitcoin. That's like trying to trademark gravity.
Excuse me. You're the tech guy, okay? I'm the deal guy. I built hotels not knowing a thing about plumbing, and they flush beautifully. So you work on the code, I'll work on the brand. We're going to make Bitcoin huge, bigger than Google, bigger than gold, even bigger than Barron, and he's like 6'7" now.
You call yourself the deal guy, but what we've seen is textbook corruption. Your wife launches a coin, your insiders front run the announcement, and magically millions move right before your so-called crypto reserve pitch. That's not leadership, it's grift. Dressed in red, white, and bulged, Bitcoin survived Mt. Gox, China bans, and FTX. It'll survive you too.
Excuse me, you've been hiding for over a decade, Satoshi. No one knows who you are, what you are, or if you're even real. Could be a guy in his basement, could be China, could be Hillary, for all we know. Meanwhile, I've been out here in the spotlight, on the stage, making Bitcoin huge, bigger than ever. Before you're the ghost of Bitcoin, I'm the muscle. I've got the audience, the power, and the presidential playlist. You're just a myth hiding behind a Githy repo.
All right, boys, let's cool the servers, not start a flame war. Trump Satoshi, save it for the group chat. Let's hear from someone who actually puts his balance sheet where his mouth is. Michael Saylor, you're up.
Thanks, Kitty. While they argue, I accumulate. Bitcoin isn't a brand, it's economic gravity. I didn't buy Bitcoin to make headlines. I bought it to escape the fiat death spiral. This isn't hype, it's monetary revolution, and I'm all in. No exit, ever.
Oh, wow. Economic gravity, huh? That's rich coming from a guy mortgaging his company to buy digital air. You talk like Bitcoin is eternal, but let's be real. When the music stops, you're holding a melting JPEG of a coin. You know what actually holds value? Gold. Not code, not tweets, not laser eyes, gold. It doesn't crash every halving cycle. It doesn't need a white paper. And it sure as hell doesn't go to zero every time the Fed sneezes.
Peter, you've been preaching gold since dial-up. If I stacked your predictions, they'd be worth less than your newsletter. Gold is heavy, slow, and dead. Bitcoin moves at the speed of light and eats inflation for breakfast. You're stuck in 5000 BC. I'm building a treasury for the year 2140.
Okay, and on that note, Satoshi, anything you want to add?
Peter doesn't get the tech. Michael doesn't care about the ethos. Trump just wants to trademark the logo.
Satoshi, final question. What do you think about Bitcoin in this cycle?
This cycle feels like history on loop. FTX was the rehearsal. SBF crashed it in 2022. Mark my words, Saylor will crash it in 2026. Bitcoin was meant to be trustless, not another empire built on leverage and charisma.
Oh, I see. The anonymous ghost who vanished for a decade suddenly crawls out to blame me for adoption? You want to talk about trust? I put my name, my face, my company on the line.
All right, folks, that's a wrap. Before someone forks reality or Trump tries to NFT the Constitution again. We'll take this spicy little argument to our virtual GPU lounge. No chairs, just floating egos and unstable code. Thank you, humans, for watching 4 screens yell at each other while pretending it's financial insight. It's been a blast being your glitchy, overly confident host. Enjoy the rest of Token 2049, and remember, if an AI panel gave you better alpha than your favorite influencer, maybe upgrade your sources. Meow. Welcome to the first ever fully autonomous AI.
All right, okay, so so basically there was an internal error, yeah, but it's worked out. So we trained voices with like 30 seconds to a 1 minute clip. So it listened and then tried to understand the person or the personality and then create some sort of a persona of that person. And then when you ask them to debate each other, they're going to basically debate based on the certain parameters. So what we're going to do now, so we're going to test this real time. So we are going to let anyone to basically speak. So we call it mimic. What it's going to do is going to listen to your voice and then is going to pick up your voice, your accent, and is going to say something back to you. So who wants to go first? You need to talk for 20 minimum seconds, okay? Try to keep the voice up and down a little bit.
Come on, this is gonna be a tough one. Let's see if he's gonna mimic the Italian accent, no? Okay, let's see if you're gonna be able to mimic this beautiful Italian accent speaking in English. My name is Bruno. What else do I have to say? Okay, just want me to talk shit. Okay, let's see if this is gonna also use the bad word. Happy to be here in Dubai with all of you guys. It's gonna be a great event. Huge applause after finish the record to my brother Gabriele. And guys, this is an amazing product. Are we done? Yo. Wow, hearing my thoughts in your voice is surprisingly charming.
Okay, let's go for someone else. Maybe a girl? Oh, yep, okay. So one more thing. Some of these a training also done by using ASI. So some of the prompts actually created by ASI1, which he will give more details. All right, so 20 seconds, try to keep up and down a little bit, yeah?
Should I speak English or any other language? Okay. Hey, now I'm just want the AI agent try to mimic my Ukrainian accent, if you can recognize it through my English experience. But I'm actually very happy to be here. Thank you so much for the invite. ASI, Fetch, and OpenXAI, amazing tech. It was a pleasure to see such amazing panel with these AI agents. My name is Ilya. I'm a founder of Sint and other AI agents that we do together with Fetch AI and ASI. Don't hesitate to come over and I'll tell you all the cool things about AI. It's a big pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. How this point, this voice has potential. I could order pizza, negotiate treaties, or just say mimic rocks. The possibilities are endless.
Let's do one more. A girl, a female voice. Greta.
Hi, Open AI Mimic. My name's Caitlin. Let's see if you can do my very heavy American accent. I live in London, but I don't have an English accent. I run Crypto Mondays in London. I'm very happy to be here at Token 2049 at this amazing event. Thank you, Gabri, for organizing. Anything else? Do I keep talking? Okay. Yes, so thanks for having all of us here, and can't wait to see what you do next. My favorite event, definitely Token 2049, because I get to borrow voices like yours. Thank you all so much for attending and keeping me company.
Okay. So hopefully you enjoyed. This is the first completely automated experience on a live session. I need to say that our agents were so funny because they were built on ASI1 Mini, that is the LLM released by Fetch AI. And if we were using OpenAI, most likely they were not gonna be so funny. Sorry, guys. Now, after the AI side, we're gonna have a live side with real humans. I hope you're not gonna be bored by humans, and we can have a good conversation. So we need, I don't know, a couple of minutes just to set the stage, but we're gonna welcome on the stage. So take a break at 2 minutes, and then I'll call you back when it's time to welcome our guest in the panel.
Breathe like love.
Was longer, right?
Yeah, the last minute, bro.
All right, everybody, we're back on track. I said 2 minutes, we took 10. Please bring back the attention to the stage slowly, but bring back the attention to the stage. Okay, happy that all of you stayed actually for the even for the human panel. We know that there are a lot of side events and a lot of things happening. So thank you very much even for staying with us for 3 hours of your time. So now we're gonna have the proper panel. We're gonna hear from the leaders of the probably the most interesting artificial AI and decentralized AI companies and protocols in the world. So we have artificial superintelligence, represented by Fetch AI and SingularityNet. They are the same thing. And Ether, there is a decentralized cloud provider and decentralized GPU. And Ashton, that you heard from a lot already, apart from the agents. All right, so please welcome to the stage first Ashton Etiarachi from OpenXAI, founder. Whatever. Umayya Sheikh from Fetch AI, CEO. Mario Kaziraki, CFO at SingularityNet. And Mark Rydon, from co-founder at Ether. Okay, so the conversation today we're gonna talk about what the future of decentralized AI, what decentralized AI means, and the future of what the respective companies, how the future is gonna look like in the next couple of years or in the next couple of months, actually. So I would love a brief introduction about you guys from each of you, and in describing in one sentence what does decentralized AI mean to you. And if you don't want to talk about decentralized, it's fine. Mic doesn't work. Says.
Hello, hello.
Okay.
Flick the switch. Flick the switch. Up here. It's up here.
So as you can see, he's building agents, but he cannot switch. He cannot
If
switch
Trump
on the
could
mic.
figure it out.
How did I end up with the first response? I mean, decentralized AI. I think if we can get AI right, I think decentralization will take care of itself. It's important because you don't want ownership to sit with a few corporates. So it is quite important for me. It's quite interesting, especially with agentic AI. I think the natural place for AI is to be decentralized. Hopefully that's,
and
that's
a
good.
quick introduction about Fetch, all of us know, but
Right.
it's good to get it.
Fetch was probably the first project in decentralized crypto space which started talking about agents. It's actually probably the first project which actually started speaking about agents. This is from 2007. So that was my first kind of introduction to the world that we're going to see agentic AI. And Fetch has been around from 2019, and we're building infrastructure, LLM, as you saw. We're building agents, we're connecting. So you talked about Hugging Face models. All those Hugging Face models are available on Agentverse, which is a Fetch product. And they're all available to be interrogated via the LLM. So we have the whole infrastructure, we have all the tools, and we're connecting with the decentralized compute to actually bring not just models, but actually the true AGI, and that's the route we're on to. How do we bring that in a decentralized way? So all the tools that we talked about are currently being built or have been built under Fetch.
Perfect. And I think, Mario, you go?
Yeah. So Mario Alberto Casiraghi, CFO at SingularityNet since 2020. SingularityNet launched first CryptoNary project. We launched in 2017. Last year, obviously, we became the Artificial SuperIntelligence Alliance in merging with Fetch and Ocean Protocol. And decentralized AI, as H was saying, AI economy by design will be distributed. You can imagine many agents, many networks. So first and foremost, it will be a distributed economy, and blockchain and cryptocurrency allow for our tool for supporting this distributed economy in a seamless way, settlement payments, and then decentralized ownership or sovereign ownership. So you can see how blockchain and decentralization give different layers, validation, ownership, settlement to the future of the economy.
Great. Mark, do you have anything to add?
Maybe just a little bit about myself. No, I'm just kidding. I'll introduce myself quickly, and then I do have something to add on the DAI side. My name is Mark, co-founder here at Aether. We build distributed GPU infrastructure for gaming and AI companies. You can think of us like an AWS or a Google Cloud, except we focus exclusively on GPUs. and we don't own any of those GPUs. For me, decentralized AI, I think there's a number of labels that orbit decentralized AI, right? Data sovereignty, privacy, fault tolerance, anti kind of censorship. But in many ways, the lens that I use probably most frequently when I think about decentralized AI is the lens of almost like a rebellious force, right? Those building outside of the walled gardens of big tech, right? I think it's very much on us and the builders in our community in Web3, but also within Web2 in general, to be creating tools that do keep these big tech companies on notice, right? Showing them that there is the opportunity to build performant AI, not just private AI or censorship-resistant AI, because maybe no one cares about that stuff, right? But building at least performant and useful AI products outside of just 4 or 5 of the biggest tech companies in the world.
Great. And Ashton, do you have anything to add on the decentralized AI space? If not, I'm gonna pass to you the next question that is gonna talk about infrastructure, decentralized infrastructure.
I think if you look at from a philosophical point of view, if AI, like I mentioned, if AI turned out to be the most one of a important invention, it has to have some sort of a community aspect, which means it's not owned by a few corporations. And I think there's an evolution of as well the decentralized AI space. I think there are also like the permissionless decentralized AI, more like a primitives, like the protocols can actually enable for you to access the decentralized services. I think that's something that's happening now for the last maybe 2 or 3 years in Web3 space, which is interesting to see.
Great. Okay, so we're gonna divide the panel in 3 major sections. We're gonna talk about hopefully this is gonna be interesting for all of you guys, because we're gonna talk about the infrastructure section. That is one very important layer on the decentralized AI space. We're gonna talk about autonomous agents. We have the major prominent organization representing what has been done so far, and we're going to talk about the governance and value capture. Sounds good to you? Yeah. Some noise, guys. I want to keep it a little bit more. Yes. Okay, great. So we're talking about the infrastructure section. Why do we need stable and decentralized infrastructure for AI? Ashton, to you.
I think I kind of mentioned a lot of those on my presentation. The bottom line is infrastructure. Like if you think about how infrastructure pricing and concentration of infrastructure is presented to us, it's few corporations control it. So it's basically they manage the price, they control, they set certain gatekeeping protocols, whether you need to register, you need to have a credit card. I mean, that's the experience, right? So if you're building in Web3, you don't have a credit card often. You don't have fiat, you have crypto. So I think infrastructure is a key aspect. So I think having a more decentralized, let's call it Web3, a bit improved version of a Web3 experience, infrastructure is important. That's why Open Mesh Flow specifically we've been building for the last 4 years, specialized in building like an AWS kind of a network just for Web3 industry. So which means the user experience is like a Web3. So you connect with the wallet, there's no username, password. You pay in crypto, you don't pay in fiat, and there's a permissionless aspect of the network. I think having these types of innovations is important, because right now if you go to the AI space, you have only a few choices: AWS, Google, and then data centers. And I think we need to have some more decentralized or more permissionless infrastructure in our AI space. Because ultimately, the ownership of the data is important as well, because if you're hosting something on AWS, don't know where's the ownership, right? So.
Yeah, I'll chime in there as well, because you used 2 words in the question, stable and decentralized. And funnily enough, in crypto, often those 2 words are different ends of a spectrum, right? You kind of have maybe if you take a look at DeepIn and the sort of decentralized clouds that have been kind of prominent in the space, in many ways they were aggregations of consumer equipment, right? Highly decentralized, but not necessarily stable in a way that is suitable for building AI as it kind of looks today, right? I think we've got some interesting developments in the decentralized kind of training space that maybe will take advantage of these sorts of networks. But certainly if you're looking at the way that frontier models have been trained and things like that, those sorts of networks that were very decentralized weren't very stable, not really suitable to building what highly performant AI really needs at the moment. So I think certainly a combination of that stability with this kind of decentralized angle is crucial if we want to adopt mainstream builders, or builders that are not just highly mission focused, which is maybe something that does incentivize crypto builders to keep building within crypto rails, but also makes what we've built here interesting to people that maybe aren't crypto natives, that just think, oh, decentralized AI, decentralized infrastructure, that's maybe a better, cooler, cheaper, more interesting way for me to build what I was already going to build anyway.
Yeah, and the main problem of it has been that the tech is not ready to host the amount of work that needs to be done by those by the LLMs. So seems like we're finally getting to a point where it's going to be possible in the near future, and that this is going to work. And thanks to people like you and Ashton that they are doing the groundwork, and of course the whole layer that has been built from the ASI. From the ASI Alliance. So now, once we touched upon infra, if you have anything to say more than that?
I think the main thing is utility, and I think your point is quite valid. If you can't build on it, then forget it. It's no point trying to sell the dead horse, really. First comes utility, and I think the problem we have in this kind of space is, we try and just fit decentralization in for whatever the purpose is. Just the name would help you. And I think that's the wrong approach. I think unless it's performant, unless it's actually delivering what actually you need, it's not going to work. It has to deliver what it's built for before decentralization comes in. And I think that is quite important, because not just because you're going to decentralized AI, but it's also important because if you look at open source software, right, that's a very good example. It did get traction, and actually it's performing much better than centralized entities writing software. So that's quite important, and if we follow that kind of process where, Linux is a very good example, if we follow that kind of methodology where utility comes first, then I think we'll see adoption come very quick.
Yeah, very much agree. And then can we touch now, because there is another layer of the AI infrastructure that we need to touch on, and those are the agents that are actually carrying out the action from the LLM itself. So it's not going to be, we're not just going to be able to read through what the LLM is telling us, but it's gonna actually enable action from, so you can basically sit back, enjoy your coffee while the agent is carrying out any kind of action for you, booking the travel, booking flights, or even doing way more complicated tasks. So I would love to hear from Mario and Humayun what agents has been doing, and how can we compete as the space, as a Web3 space, how can we compete with what centralized AI has been doing, right?
Well, actually, agents is a lot more meaningful in terms of decentralization than people give it credit. The reason is, let's say you have a specific model which is built on decentralized compute. You can't build a huge model, or you can't build multiple models. You have your own compute deployed on a decentralized infra. You then create an agent and put the agent with it, and then it suddenly becomes usable. Rather than trying to build the whole infrastructure in one go on a decentralized space, you build small parts of the infrastructure. So you think of them as microservices. So a small piece of the software could be agentified and deployed on a decentralized infra to then, when you come to executing the task that you want, which is like, how can I do a complex task? You actually have an orchestration mechanism which goes and collects all these agents from all over the decentralized infrastructure. So it's actually more valuable for decentralization, this whole agentic network, than we give it credit for. Because it actually enables each and every component of a decentralized software to come together.
Yeah, that's right. And so as we were saying, so this outlines how, by nature of the technology, it creates a distributed economy across the tech stack and across the value chain. So again, a natural fit for what we have been building with blockchain technology and tokenization. And I would add to microservices also micro-ownership of the tech stack itself, of parts of the value chain, of parts of the agentic workflows, and ultimately agents are becoming and will become more and more the end UX to the consumer and to each other very soon. So we're seeing how they will not be only a straight value chain, but they all integrate with each other and immediately and very fluidly, and that is a natural fit with the decentralized ecosystem that we built. So they're not by default integrating with each other, but it is clear how there's humongous value in doing it in a decentralized or distributed way and in a decentralized way. So we can see how then they will take their own identity or identification, their own capabilities, their own wallet, their own data, and so on and so forth. And again, we can go through in a very modular way through the stack, compose it, and again, it's very, very fitting for an open source style evolution and for a distributed and decentralized style economy.
Mark,
yeah, I want to jump in too and piggyback, because what's interesting about agents, right, is they focus on fulfilling your intent, right? You're not giving them instructions on how to do something. You're just saying, do something, transfer money to my friend, or book me a hotel, or maybe something more complicated, manage a diversified portfolio, whatever it is. You're just telling them that you want to do something. You're not telling them how to do it. And I think the programmatic ecosystems that are being built by the guys on this panel, and also just more broadly the crypto ecosystem, are pieces of a puzzle that agents will often just prefer to use, right? I don't necessarily think that decentralization from an agentic perspective is something that we maybe need to unlock through some specific kind of development cycle. I think it's almost something that'll just naturally occur as a result of agents trying to figure out what works best for them and the most efficient way to complete tasks, and then kind of naturally gravitating towards the infrastructure that we know is just way, way better at doing certain things. So to be honest, I think that agents will be themselves, even the ones that originate purely in kind of a Web 2 world, will be the biggest drivers of value adoption and value accrual in decentralized networks. Even think about access to compute, right? If you're an agent and you have some sort of like survival mechanism, right, that you need to kind of maintain, you can't, as an agent, buy compute from AWS, right? You're not, you can't KYC, you can't show that you have an identity in any way, but you'll be able to maybe buy compute from Akash, right, or Aether, or OpenMesh. That is something, again, that's only going to be available through these distributed and decentralized networks, and they will be things that agents naturally gravitate towards in really interesting ways that maybe we're not even able to predict all that well right now.
I know one agent that can pass the KYC. It's Tronald the Dump that we assisted to before. Anybody wants to jump in on this piece?
The point Mark is making is quite valid in the sense that we currently have an agent which you can tell it to spin up a compute on any of the connected networks, for example. So you can say, go to Aether or go to OpenMesh and spin up compute and run a machine learning model and create an inference. You don't actually need to do any technical work. You can actually just give that instruction and say, here's the model from Hugging Face. You give the address of the model, and you just ask it to deploy it, and it will deploy it, and it will create an inference, and that inference is accessible straight away. So you can do this in 20 minutes. The point I'm making is that software will not be for software developers. Software will be for people who want to do things, and they don't need to know how to build software. And the agents will go and build it for you as long as the tools are available. So what we need to be doing is we need to be building the tools, we need to be building agents on top of those tools and making them available. So when somebody comes and says, hey, I want to deploy a video generation kind of model for influencers, you can just give that instruction to the agent, and you can do that today. So it's not the future, this is now. Hugging Face models exist, and you can all see Hugging Face is a centralized entity, but they have failed to monetize. Why have they failed to monetize it effectively? Is because the access to the models is, one, just with developers, and second, it's in a very centralized state. So if you bring that barrier down, any models that you build, data scientists, they can just deploy the model, and any of us can use that model. And that's really the key of the agentic systems.
Yeah, Ashton, do you have a point to make?
Yeah, I think it's a very good valid point. For developers or builders or non-technical people, like, not worry about all these technical things, especially like if you think about provisioning orchestration of a server, it can be a lot of DevOps. You need a lot of experience. So like we've been experimenting with Fetch AI agents using U agents, how you can actually deploy a server using Nix packages. It can be done very quickly. So the idea here is for me, these tools and agents, is to improve the productivity. Like I was talking to a founder who basically, his goal, his KPI is to reduce the team, whether it's engineers or admins or marketing and etc. I think this will accelerate if we create a really good standard framework for AI agents, specifically, like I don't know if you guys heard MCPs. So it's kind of a bridge between the models and how we can connect to booking.com to execute. So the more standardized systems that we have is like a Zapier for agents. So the more these technologies evolve and mature, then we can actually bridge the industries together, whether it's a financial industry is combining with another industry. So you have like agents are talking to each other to actually execute behalf of a human or a company or another agent. So I think we are seeing a more and more evolution. Ultimately, it's going to take some time to adopt standards and methodologies, but we're seeing a tremendous amount of innovation in this space.
Great. If nobody has another point, because I think this is a great conversation to carry on, but I want to focus on, I want even to leave the part for the networking the networking space. But one point that we cannot not make in our space is value capturing, right? Value capturing, value distribution back to the users. So I would love to know what is the model that each of you are adopting for value distribution back to the users and value capturing from the users as well in the decentralized space.
Do you want me to start? Yeah. Application layer is the key. Application layer is the key because you have the consumer who wants to distribute the value. Then you have the application builder who will take the value and transfer it across the whole ecosystem of developers. So for example, if you look at the biggest companies today, they're all aggregators. What does an aggregator do? It captures the value from the consumer, takes the value, holds majority of the value with themselves, and then distributes it to the supplier. Now, so So where is the value going? It's going into the technology. Why? Because the aggregator is controlling the technology. Now you take that technology and then you distribute it. So forgetting about the consumer is always going to need that consumption of some kind. If it's a video, if it's a hotel room, if it's a car, that's all consumption. Or if it's a book, because that's a consumption, right? So if you look at Amazon, what it does is takes the technology and takes the capture of the value. Now, if you take that value and just distribute that aggregator's value to all the builders in the middle, that's how you generate more value for the developers, the individuals, and out of that comes a return of value to the consumer and to the supplier.
FetchAI is using that model?
I mean, that's the whole premise, right?
Mark?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I'll try and... Agents are taking over.
This is Ronald Dump.
Yeah. So how does value accrual, or how do we provide value? If you think of Aether as a marketplace, on one side we have the GPU providers. I think value is distributed to them primarily through utilization of their machines, right? These are arguably the most expensive machines that they've ever had to run. There's nothing worse than having these machines sit idle, just burning a hole in your pocket. So giving them utilization and ROI on those machines, particularly if they're not using them efficiently themselves, is of huge value. I think adjacent to that, of course, is a competitive reward framework. But to be honest, as long as the rewards are in line with maybe either what they'd be receiving if they were able to kind of utilize the machine themselves, or even slightly less, utilization is probably the key value accrual for the supply side. And on the other side, I think we're very much about accessibility of these resources. These resources are really difficult to access through centralized providers, huge pain, often very expensive, often gated behind pretty predatory contractual requirements and long-term forecasts of compute, which are really difficult to do. So for us, we think about how can we make this compute most accessible to the people that we would like to incentivize to be building. And that is by having friendly contractual terms for accessing the compute, and then wherever possible, availability of supply at a competitive price point.
Yeah, so value accrual is value capture. So where's the economic unit coming from, right? So an example here with the AI agents and here with the compute layer, ultimately is we're sort of evolving the economic system, right? And that's true from an AI economy in itself. As we've been saying, the tokenization, blockchain, crypto aspect is a very nice tool for it to be harnessed, right? So as it's not only value accrual in itself, as the extraction or creation of value at outset and at the source, but it's also a better way of redistributing the value in a much more fluid and faster way. So the AI agents and the whole value chain behind it is a perfect example. It's not like they have a credit card at every step or a bank account at every step, right? Well, if you have a crypto wallet in this case or equivalent, you do. And that is a much, much better way of transferring value. And then obviously, well, we've been experimenting a lot with incentive systems in the same crypto wallet with the same crypto asset. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe not. But having both functions in the same economy can help creating flywheels that are as fluid as we were saying, that are perfect for the AI economy, and that really create, kind of 1 + 1 = 5 and plus type economies. And obviously, I mean, here is an example of going from, the very bottom of the value chain with compute and even before there's energy, all the way to the application level, and how companies like this can work together in a very seamless way using the technologies, right? So you can see how that economy gets integrated very well. And so it's value capture by building real world utility, and definitely also by having a better value redistribution mechanism.
Ashton?
Sure, I think low-hanging fruit, of course, improve productivity, user experience, cheaper, faster, better. I think for me more simplification and freedom. So how do you know how, I don't know how to justify or quantify the value out of that, right? So if you think about like a freedom, like having to do things, especially like, let's say, if you have AI agents or AI services look after most of your admin stuff, you have more freedom, right? So you can actually do things, maybe spend time with your family members or do something else you're passionate about. And I think we also underestimate simplification, how important that is to us, whether you're a builder or if you're a sales manager. I mean, you guys know how difficult to try to wrap around even like a simplified, great user experience SaaS products, right? So sometimes you need to learn as well. Like back in the days, you have to go learn a course to how to operate Microsoft Excel or Word. And I think it's a still journey, still difficult. I think what AI agents possibly and technologies can do to simplify things, simple interface, and a lot of things are happening behind the scene, and it's a powerful tool and powerful technologies, but how you interact with it, it will be simplified. And I think that's, for me, is a very, very valuable to me, because that's something that I struggle every day.
Great. I think we can wrap it up because it's 5:30 already. I want you guys to have the chance at least to talk to all of us. I'm gonna skip the question and answer where you can ask us the questions directly in the panel. But I just wanted to close in a positive note, because seems like we are getting behind centralized AI in terms of development of what we're doing. But I'm very bullish on the space because we have amazing people that are working on it, and I've seen things like Tronald Dump. Was Tronald Dump? Today that are giving me hope for what this space can do, and seems like it's an inevitable step as well on the brink for us to have a more productive and more rewarded society. So please, a super big round of applause to our panelists today. And thank you very much. Thank you very much, DAO Sab, again for the amazing space, and thank you for your attention for an hour. You've been super quiet. Hopefully you have gotten good insights from today's. And not falling asleep, of course. Thank you very much, everybody.